Hello everyone, I am Zagah Janet Cabo and I'm a 2021 Chevening scholar. I'll be studying energy management at Robert Gordon University. I'm a chemical engineer and a business development practitioner also.
How does it feel like to be a scholar?
I have kind of mixed feelings. It's exciting and I don't know, somehow it still feels like a dream that I don't know, I just hope they don't wake me up tomorrow morning to tell me that it's not true, because it just feels like a dream come true. So it's exciting and it's fulfilling, and it feels like this whole Chevening thing is just like a door was opened to me that leads to many other doors of opportunities. So that's how I feel.
Can you tell us one word that summarizes your journey to this moment, being a scholarship awardee?
I could say reflected. So the whole Chevening application process, I just like put my life in retrospect. It gave me an opportunity to sit down and think about every single thing I've done, and also give me an opportunity to plan my life. So somehow I had a jotter then where I wrote down every single thing that I'd done and I'd achieved that I think was good, and I was able to think, what do I want to do in my life? What are my plans? What do I want to do in the next 5 years, 10 years? Where do I see myself? How can I get to that point? So somehow it helped me to reflect. So I did this inner reflection, and yeah, I just said, give me an opportunity to reflect. So even if I didn't get the scholarship, I had that privilege of knowing what I think I would do in future, having that guide somehow.
Okay, a few years ago, did you think you would win a scholarship? If yes, why? If no, what changed?
Okay, a few years ago, I would say I'm indifferent, because I was in my IT in 2018. That was how I got to know that there were scholarships for master's students. So during my IT, my boss then, he met me and he told me that he's seen that I am very, very passionate about my work, and I was able to deliver my tasks very well, and he sees me being a very good, having a very good role to play in the energy industry, that he was a Shell scholar. And what he did was that in the service year, he applied to scholarships. So he advised me that during my service year, I should try to write exams like IELTS, GMAT, GRE, and the rest of them to apply. That he is very certain that I'll get a scholarship. So then in my year 4, because my boss was telling me he was confident that I'll get a scholarship. At that point in time, yes, I would say I felt I could get a scholarship. But during my service year, when I was supposed to prepare for this scholarship, I'm not sure I was confident that I would get a scholarship, because my service year was during the pandemic. So if you notice how last year was, everything was just slow. It felt like all the plans I planned that, okay, I'll be in Lagos, I would prepare for the exams, I'll write the exams and the rest. It wasn't just looking like it was going to be possible, because we were at home. We were locked down for a long time and everything was just slow. So as at then in my year 4, maybe yes, I had this belief, because someone believed in me then that I would get a scholarship. But as at last year, I wasn't even sure I was ready for it or I would get it.
Why should anybody apply, and what is so amazing about the Chevening scholarship?
The Chevening scholarship is a very beautiful scholarship, because the Chevening scholarship is not limiting. Like, there's no limit. It's just like you have an opportunity, an open check, to pick any course you want in any single university in the UK, any school you feel like going to in the UK, any course you want to study. There's no restriction like some scholarships. So somehow Chevening give you the opportunity to explore and maximize your full potential, so you can actually figure out what you want to do, and you have that privilege in any school in the UK. So aside from that, the Chevening scholarship is a leadership scholarship, so it helps to groom leaders. So somehow, as a Chevening scholar, you maximize your leadership skills. You also get an opportunity to network with other leaders, not just in Nigeria, but around the world. That's another second example. Then thirdly, Chevening has this wide network of over about 55,000 alumni. So you can tap into that network, and somehow it would help you to achieve your goals and your dreams.
Walk us through the process. What steps do you take to win?
If I start talking about the steps for my Chevening scholarship, I don't think we will leave here today. But I'll try to be as brief as I can be. Okay. So like I said earlier, I had this plan that I would get a scholarship, but it didn't work out because I didn't write those exams. You know, if you're going to US universities and even some schools in the UK, you need some exams. I didn't have those exams. So somehow in my mind, I was like, no problem, I will start this year. Maybe I didn't prepare last year, so I'll prepare this year and start my application process this year. But then sometime last year, I think in September, in August, I think in September, a friend of mine made a post on the status about the Chevning scholarship and the application being open. Or like, what is this one, Chevning? I mean, I don't have IELTS. Let me wait. Next year, I'll look at this thing. I don't think I'm qualified. So after some days, he sent it to my DM. This time around, he sent it to as a message to me. And he said, Janet, I saw this scholarship. I think you have all they require. You have what it takes to get it. So because he was a friend and a mentor, he's actually a lecturer in my school, Precious. I felt like, for Precious to see this, and he knows me very well. So maybe there might be something about the scholarship that I think if I should give it a try, I might get it. So I said, no problem. I looked at the flyer. I just saw Chevening. I went to Google that time and I searched, what is Chevening? You want to see the amount of resources. I think I spent like 4 hours straight from one site to another site, from one article to another article and everything. I checked the requirements and I felt like, okay, I need 2 years of experience and I already have that. And it's for Nigerians that have leadership skills and they want to go for their masters in the UK and they want to achieve or create impact in their country. So somehow it felt like what I wanted to do. So like, okay, no problem, I'll give this in a try. I went online, I went to YouTube, I downloaded videos. Like I didn't think then that because of the amount of videos I was planning to download, there was no, I didn't have data then because I was serving. What I would do then, I'll go at night, this night sub we have, this MCN night sub and Airtel night sub. I will do the night sub and put most of those YouTube videos, like AFM stories in particular. I think I watched all her videos from the beginning of her channel to the end. I downloaded most of those videos so that during the day, I would watch it. So as I'm going to the office, on my way to the office, I'm watching YouTube videos. At work, most times, maybe after work, I'm watching YouTube videos. So that my colleagues will say, Madam Chevening, because I come to the office very early, like we resume by 8. I try to get to the office by 7, so I can use that 1 hour before the start of work to write down some things about my essays. Because then I didn't know how to write, like, you know, I didn't like writing like that. Writing wasn't my thing, so I felt like I needed extra help to help me get the essays I needed. So I took my time to, I think I even went online to get some courses on Udemy and Coursera on how to write, because I felt I wasn't good at writing. So I took those courses and I wrote down my essays. After writing the essays, I had written about 3 of the essays then. I recall that I saw a scholar last year, 2020. He made a post from my school about his Chevening post. I see he held one thing that said, I can't keep calm, I've been struggling for sharing. So I said, oh, I've heard about this thing somewhere. So I was like, what's this guy's name? I couldn't remember his name then. I had to ask someone else that I think would know the person. And I went to his DM and I told him, hey, I want to apply for this scholarship. I learned he got it. And he was very open. He said, okay, no problem. That when I write my essays, I should bring it to him for him to review, which I did. I sent him my leadership essay then, and he gave his recommendations and his feedback. So he reviewed my essays and made some corrections, both grammatical corrections and also the way I aligned my essays. He told me to use the STAR approach so my work would be concise and clear and everything. That I had done a good work, but I just need to organize it well. So I did that, and after preparing my essays, it was time for me to submit. But then I came across an article that someone was writing about top Chevney scholars. I think that was like in October, yes. So the article was about Chevney scholars, how they are breaking bounds in their different countries. I don't know who sent me work. I went and I checked some scholars. I went online, I started researching different scholars. Nah, the things I was seeing with my eyes, I was like, wow. So these people have done so much like this. So somehow I felt intimidated. I was like, the recipients of these scholarships are people that have done really great things. So I was trying to compare myself with those people. Then I felt like I wasn't capable, or I wasn't up to the task at that point in time. So I was like, Janet, something you wait till next day. So, just wait, you're not good enough yet. Let's say you apply. So then I decided that I wasn't going to apply again, that I would wait, because when I saw what most scholars were doing, most of them had NGOs, most of them were, we have Chevening scholars that are presidents in their countries after years, like some of the alumni that are presidents. Some of them have companies they've started up, some of them had tech, like in their different fields they were doing excellently well. So it discouraged me somehow, and then I was like, okay, let me wait, probably this year I'll work on myself better, so I will stand a better chance of getting the scholarship. I didn't submit my application, I left it there, and I continued doing other stuff at work. I think some days to the deadline or so, I can't really remember, I got a mail from Chevening. I think maybe it's an automated mail or so, and the mail was like, "Dear Janet Zagah, we noticed that you started your application for over a long time and you've not submitted. Please submit as the deadline is closed." So I looked at this mail, this mail is coming at this time. Should I submit this application? I was like, Janet, you always advise your friends that in life, whenever there's an opportunity to do something, you should go for it. Why don't you use this opportunity now? This is your own advice you give people. Apply it in this case. If you don't get the scholarship, Chevney will not come and flog you with cane. So why not apply? If you apply and you get it, fine. If you don't get it, you apply next year as you plan. But just give it a shot. After all, you've written your essays, what is left? Just to click apply and submit and you're done. So I said, it's true. Let me just give this in a try. Who knows if I'll get it? So I went back. It was like a marathon. I had to review my essays because the deadline was like, I think in 2 days. I can't really remember. So I had to review the essays, rewrite and everything. And I put everything together. Do you know I submitted my essay about 15 or 20 minutes to the deadline? Please don't try this. I won't advise you. And why I was able to do that was because I had written the essays beforehand, like a month or so before. I had prepared the essays already. So because I wasn't so sure, that was why I submitted at that time. So I just submitted the essay to fulfill law righteousness because I wasn't so confident at that point in time, and I submitted my essays. So it got to the time when they shortlisted, they sent mails for interviews. I wasn't checking all those things, so I took my hands off it. I wasn't checking my mails, nothing. I was like, no problem, I'll apply in this new batch. Then I'll take my time to prepare my applications and give a strong application. So I had friends calling me that, hey, Janet, they sent me a rejection mail. Have they sent you a mail? I told them no, I've not seen any mail. Until like the calls were consistent. I kept getting calls like they've shortlisted scholars for interview. Have you not gotten your own? I was like, okay, these people. I was now complaining one day. One of my friends, Shino, he called me. He was like, I told him, Shino, I don't understand these people. Though. People should accept me now. Okay, accept me. People don't want to accept me. Oh yeah, reject me. People will not also reject me. Which one are people doing? So I was like, okay, no problem. I'll still wait. Maybe they've not sent to everybody. So one morning, because I was applying for Commonwealth Share Scholarship too, since I wasn't sure of my application, I was applying for Commonwealth Share Scholarship. So I think I searched documents on my mail to get my documents out, and then I just saw the mail, the interview invite. Like it was just like I don't know how, I can't even express how I felt at that point. And then I clicked on the mail. I noticed that they had sent the mails like days before I even saw the mail, but because I wasn't looking for it or I wasn't expecting it, I did not see it. So one other advice I'll give you, please, when you apply, check your mails. Always check your mails, like subsequently keep checking your mails, like as long as you know if you've sent an application for a scholarship or anything, just check your mails because you can miss an opportunity if you don't see it. And I was very lucky that I saw that mail at that point in time. So immediately I rushed to book I don't know my days, they'll go to the mail, they'll try to book a date for your interview. I don't know what I clicked because I was just disorganized. I know they just gave me a date. I don't know where I clicked and I got a date. And I think my interview date was on the last day of the interview because other scholars had already booked before then. And then when it got time for my interview preparation, that was when I knew. I sat down, I was like, for them to select me for this interview, it means there's actually something special about me that I might not be seeing. So somehow that mail gave me this confidence. It helped me to bring out that thing in me, that special thing in me that I wasn't seeing initially. So I took my time. I won't lie to you, I prepared because I felt like God had given me this opportunity on my hands. If I don't work hard and I play with it, I don't have anyone to blame. This is like a chance to achieve my dreams. This is like an opportunity to fulfill my dreams just on a platter of gold, and I should not misuse it. So I called that scholar that helped me, Joel, and I told him that I was shortlisted for the interview. He was really happy, and then he said, "I should know that you help me with my interview preparation." I don't know how I want to thank Joel Bright. He did so much. Like he organized mock interviews for me. I think almost every single day. Like I think maybe 3 weeks to my interview or 2 weeks to my interview, we had mock interviews every single day. So initially I knew what to say. It's just that I wasn't expressing myself the way I should. So he told me that I should try to be passionate about my plans. That's how I can sell my idea or sell my vision to the interview panel. He gave me lots of advice. You know, this advice they always give us about drinking the water. Yeah. See that water? I know we've not got to the part of the interview yet. Please drink that water. It's as if there is this special thing in that water. I can't explain. It has this way of making you calm and relaxed. Yeah, so somehow he shared his experience with me, and I was able to prepare for the interview, and everything was a success. So that's how my application started, and currently I'm here, and that's how it has been. Yeah, thank you.
Did you have doubts, and how did you deal with it?
Oh, I had doubts. So like I said earlier, I didn't believe. When I saw those scholars that were doing great things in their different fields, I felt like I wasn't up to the task. So the thing with Chevening is, it's not really about how big the work you're doing is. Just show them the impact you made. Just if you're able to tailor the little impact you've made, like give them numbers, because it's like a multiplier effect. They believe that if with the little resource you had, you're able to have this impact on 50 people or 30 people. If they invest in you in these masters, you can have an impact on 200 or 1 million people. So don't feel discouraged, like you're not good enough, or you feel like what you've done is not so big. Don't ever have that doubt. I had that self-doubt with me. Just even on my interview day, I was still checking stuff online, and I saw a video on, I think a YouTuber made a video about why you should not apply to Chevney, and she was talking about different reasons, how it's very competitive, how you don't stand a chance to get selected. Because imagine, for instance, we have 8,000 applications and they select only about 50 each year. She took her, actually, the person actually did the statistics, like did the division, how you have less than 0.01% chance of getting the scholarship. So the thing is, what if you are among that 0.001% that will get that scholarship, but you don't know if you don't try?
Did you have doubts, and how did you deal with it?
Okay, so about having doubt, when I started my application, like my essays, I did lots and lots of research, and I had drafted my essays out. I had my 4 essays already set out for submission. But then on a certain day, I was just going through the internet and I was trying to check out scholars. I saw an article where someone wrote about Chevening scholars, how they are change makers in the different countries. So I picked out some names of some scholars and I did research. I was amazed. I was like, wow, so they've done these great things, and somehow subconsciously I was equating what they've done to what I think I had done, and the scale was like this somehow in my own eyes. So I was discouraged. I said, okay, that was one of the things that made me decide to apply this year instead. So I actually stopped my application process. I felt that maybe I need to work harder on myself, or do better things, or do bigger things, so I'll be qualified for the application process. So whoever is watching this right now, the first thing advice I want to give to you is, don't look down on whatever you think you have done. Chevening is not looking for one scholar. Don't ever compare your experience or your story with that of other scholars or other applicants, because it might discourage you. So the Chevening scholarship is very unique. You see different people in different fields that have different passions, that have different goals, that have different career ambitions. They have led in different ways. So it's not really about how big the impact you've made. You don't need to feed 5,000 people with two loaves of bread, and 5 fishes like Jesus Christ did for you to be a Chevening scholar. It's about the impact you made, no matter how little you think it might be. So they believe in this, I think, this multiplier effect, that if you could do whatever you've done with the resources you have, if they invest in you, you will do better than what you've done. So don't ever feel that doubt. Don't have this self-doubt. It might come in at some point, especially when you read the essays, the essay questions. Just try to share your experiences with them. So also, I think after I got shortlisted for the interview, I thought when I actually felt that there is something in me that I might not be saying, or I might be underrated. So for the essay, the panel of the essay review, for them to select my essays, it means they can see something in me that I might not be seeing. So somehow that motivated me, and that gave me this spirit that I can actually be a scholar. So I just needed to prove that to the interview panel, that my goals are actually in line with what the UK government or what the UK has in plan for Nigeria, and I was able to sell that to them. So the thing is, I know the chances are very slim, but how would you know if you won't be among that 0.001% if you don't try? So the thing is to give it a try, give it a shot. Just do your research and try to express yourself accurately, and don't have any self-doubt. You are great as far as you have leadership experience, no matter how little you think it is. Just try to put that in your essays, and I think you'll be fine. The time was different. The result came in at I think 23rd or so of June. So we were waiting. We waited. So every day we were all checking our mails. Everybody was checking the UK Nigeria page, checking Twitter. So you see them, they'll make a tweet. When we just say a tweet, like at that time, I applied for the Commonwealth Chair Scholarship also. So I was expecting lots of mails that period. And the mail comes with I think do not reply. And there's this university I applied to, University of Strathclyde. I think their mails to usually come with you do not reply. So whenever I see a do not reply, my mind will be like, I'll just be like, has it come? Has it come? And I'll check, it's not it. I'll wait again, just like that. So the waiting period was so long. I think the scholar that even coached me, even advised me that I should just leave the WhatsApp group first, so I won't have high blood pressure or hypertension while waiting. We waited. So it wasn't easy dealing with that waiting period. It was, so when you're waiting for your result, just take it easy, because, and I think it's good to have this mindset of okay, if I get it, good. If I don't get it, I would learn from my mistakes and reapply. So if you have that mindset, you won't feel it that much. Just somehow move on with your life. Get busy. If you're at work, try to do your work and everything, so that way you won't feel the weight. So I just got busy with other stuff at work. Got busy. I think I was taking some courses there. I was taking some courses on Power BI and the rest, and because I wanted to go into that too. So I was just taking those courses to develop myself. Just so whatever comes in, I would just whatever the case may be, because that waiting period was long. So just while you're waiting, take your minds off it. Try to get busy with things that you used to develop yourself. Just ensure you're still growing as you're waiting. Don't just wait and don't do anything, because if you do that way, you feel that waiting period. So that was how I was able to overcome that period. I just got very busy with other things, so I would get distracted with the timeline and everything. So that was it.
Narrate your experience on the day you got married.
Okay. So when I got the mail that was shortlisted, I just didn't know what to do. Like, I could not shout, I could not scream. I was at the office then, and my colleagues, they stepped out for lunch. I didn't go out because I was just tired. We were all waiting. Other countries, they've called. We see people on the Facebook pages of other applicants from other countries. They will make their posts. And from this country, Afghanistan, we've been said, I'm choosing for Chevening, blah, 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 blah. And Nigeria, we're not seeing anything. And I think it was towards the end of the week. So if you don't get the mail that day, it will be the next week. So I was just tired. So everybody was tired. So when I just checked the group chat, I just saw they've sent emails for Nigeria. I could not open. I saw the do not reply. Do you know I used the Snapchat video first, the video that did not reply me. I didn't want to open it or get the outcome. I was just looking at this mail like this. I was like, God, what's going to happen now? And then I just gathered courage and I opened the mail. I could not shout because I was in the office, and I had to just calm down. Then I just told my boss that, sir, I've gotten this scholarship, and I just showed him. He was like, wow, that's great. I think he even gave me money to go and buy lunch, because I didn't go with my colleagues there. Say, I beg, stop this, you're waiting, stop mourning, you've gotten the scholarship, go and eat, go and enjoy. So I stepped out to get lunch and I ate. I didn't call my family that day. Yeah, I didn't call them because that was like a conditional award thing. Then I had not gotten my final unconditional award letter yet for my school, I think. So I just didn't want to tell anyone about it, and I went to eat, and it was just like I could just breathe finally, like this relief. But then subsequently in the evening, that joy, I think after some hours, I think the joy wasn't as much as it was again, because we were in this group, we had already bonded, we had this community of those that went for the interview. We had already built this bond. We were like family, and we were rooting for each other. And I could see many of them leaving the group, many of them saying that they got the love letter, and I wasn't that happy at that point again. Even one of my very good friends that was in the group, she sent a mail that she was even in the reserve list. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I had mixed feelings. I was happy, but I felt I would have been happier if maybe my friends, or everyone I was just hoping on that group, if we all got it together. So I was happy then. It's just that I had mixed feelings towards evening when I noticed that most of my friends, even I met some people on my own interview day, and I was actually rooting for them because we were both encouraging each other. We were trying to keep our spirits high, and as they were not shortlisted. So that is it. I was happy, but I got sad later on.
Narrate your experience on the day you got the selection.
So about the interview mail, I didn't see the day they sent it to me because I wasn't looking for it. Yes, I didn't expect to be. I felt like I would apply this year and I would be shortlisted. So I was not waiting for the mail. I think I saw my mail about a week or more than a week after it was sent to me. That was when I got to see my mail. So my friends were calling me before then that day, some weeks, like, hey, we've gotten love letter from Chevening, or have they sent you your own love letter? I was like, I've not seen it. I even told one of my friends, I was like, I don't understand these people though. What happened? Is it that my application was that bad that they didn't even shortlist me or even send me a rejection mail at least, so I'll know that I'm applying this year again, because I was ready to reapply. I really wanted the scholarship so badly that I was like, if it doesn't work out that first year, I would reapply this year and send in a better application. And then I was looking for some documents on my mail. When I searched, I just typed in the keyword documents on my mail, and I just saw the email. I wasn't looking for it. Like, it was just that was when I knew I was really happy. I was happy. So the first thing I did was that I just prayed. I was just thanking God for the opportunity, because somehow, no matter how good you think you are, no matter how strong the applications you feel you're beating your essays, there are many more, like there are thousands of good applications that are out there. So somehow I felt like, first of all, there was a God factor there. God gave me that privilege. So I just prayed. And then I felt like, you know this feeling you get when they hand over a baton to you. So I felt like these opportunities that I've gotten to get to the interview stage, if I don't make use of it well, I would blame myself. So I felt like God has done his own part by helping me scale through the most difficult part of the application process, which is the part of the essay selection and everything. So the part of the interview, it has to be, I need to work hard to get it. So I was like, I'm going to work hard and try my best to get it. So that was it. I was happy. Like, I was indeed happy. Like, very, very happy.
What do you think helped you?
In what?
Like, in getting it?
So first of all, like I said earlier, the God factor. I think God led me through this whole process. So I don't want to take it out, this God factor. Another very important thing is research. Like, I literally went from knowing nothing about Chevening to getting the scholarship at my first trial because of research. I did lots and lots of research. Like, you see that website, I combed through that website. I think even they had hidden a part in our website where if you go to a place, you get maybe you get a map to lead to a gold mine. I would have seen it because I went through everything. I even got to know about some activities the whole Chevening organizes for scholars. I saw some stories some scholars had shared, and I talked with some people, like, research. So there's a lot on the Chevening website. So even before you start reaching out to people, just try to do your research. Go through the website. Like, almost literally everything you need is on that website. I also made use of YouTube a lot, I downloaded loads and loads of videos, because somehow getting to listen to other people's experience will help you know how to tell your own story. I wasn't such a good writer as at then, but I had to research and just prepare myself for it. So that's what I think helped me. And also another thing I think is having a clear career path. So you should know where you want to go to, and you should be able to clearly express that in words, and in your interview you should be able to express that as clearly as possible, where you want to go to, research, try to get as much help as you can. You can't just work on your own. If I said, okay, I've gotten the interview selection stuff and I just stayed, I wouldn't have known most of what I did. So try to reach out to some scholars. It's just that they are very busy most times. Yeah, they are really busy, but most times they are very open to help. Like most of them helped me in my application, my interview preparation. Yeah, so just reach out to people, and that's it.
Is this your first time trying?
Yeah, this is my first time trying.
When is the best time to apply?
Okay, I think the best time to apply is before you want to apply. Okay, no, how will I put it? You need to prepare very well. For instance, if you know you want to apply for Chevney scholarship next year and you're still a student, this is the time you should start doing your research. Even if it's not Chevney or any other scholarship, you need to research on time. Prepare your application on time. We get to, because now the essay thing is, I know you might see the essays are just 4 essays. I know how many times I wrote my essays. I think I lost count of time I edited my essays. So before you get the perfect essay, it takes time. So if you don't start on time, you might miss it. So don't wait till it's a week to the deadline before you write your essays, or don't wait till it's a month to the deadline. Start early. Applications are open right now. Start drafting your essays. Reach out to your referee. It's very important. I had issues somehow in one of that scholarship I applied for, because one of my referees didn't send me my letter on time, something like that. But just try to reach out, because I didn't reach out to him on time too. Try to get, if you know you want to apply next year, check for professors in your schools or your lecturers that you think would make good reference letters for you, and try to connect with them, because you don't expect, for instance, you've graduated in 2010, for instance, and then after like 10 years later or 8 years later, your professor your lecturer must have forgotten about you. You did not keep in touch. You just come to him and tell him, sir, I need the reference letter for you. He won't take it seriously. Just try to reach out to them before the time of the application, so that they would have you in mind, and just subsequently reach out to them, so that when it's time for your application, you have your reference letter. Because I think it's also another important part of your application process. Yeah, so this was my first time applying, so I did lots and lots of research. I think that is the key thing. And try to get help from any scholar you can, because they've been there, so they have an idea of, they might not know what Chevening wants, but from their experiences they can guide you.
Do you think anybody can win a scholarship?
Yes, I think anyone can win a scholarship. Anyone, especially the Chevening scholarship, because one thing about the Chevening scholarship is that there is no age barrier. So even if you feel like, oh, you're old, for instance, your own self, you feel like you're in your late 40s and you may not be eligible, there's no age bracket. Or you feel like you're too young, you don't have a master's yet or whatever, there's no age bracket. So it's just about putting in the work. You're able to work towards getting that stuff. And also, some people have this mentality or this belief that to get a scholarship you must have a first class. That's not true. We have scholars that even have 2-1, we even have scholars that have 2-2 that got the scholarship. So it's about impact. You should be able to tell them how, because they're not just investing in you alone. You should make them know that their investment will just go in vain. They are spending millions of naira, or let me say thousands of pounds, on your education. So you should show them that you can give back to the society, and that impact, that contribution that I'm making to your studies won't be a waste. Okay, yes, I think anyone can win a scholarship as long as you're determined. If that's what you want and you work towards it, you will get it. So the thing about Chevney is that Chevney doesn't check age or race or whatever. It's just your leadership skills, your networking skills, if you have a clear career path and you know where you want to go to. So the thing is, you don't need to have a first class. to get the Chevening scholarship. We have scholars that have 2-1, even 2-2 that got the Chevening scholarship. So all you need to do is just have a clear career path. Ensure that you can clearly state where you're going to and how that master's is going to help you get to that place you want to go to. And I think you'll be shortlisted for the scholarship.
You've mentioned this scholars. What are the most notable characteristics of scholars you have met?
Okay, there are lots of characteristics about the scholars I've met. One thing I can really point out is the passion they have. So most of them, they have this passion, like it's not fake, it's within them. And no matter they are few, there's something they are passionate about and they try to work towards getting that thing. There's also this spirit of oneness they have. So no one is just like myself, I want to do this. So you see this community, they're able to network and it's just a very beautiful community. So they have passion, they're passionate about something and they have this team spirit. They are willing to work with people for a better goal. Yes, and they are focused. So those are some characteristics I noticed with some scholars. The passion, you can clearly see the passion they have for whatever they want to do.
Why do you think people get rejected?
I think maybe people get rejected because some people focus on positions, for instance, the leadership pieces. Some people are more bent on saying, hey, I was the president of my local government, or I was the president of this, or I had 3 positions, I was this, I was that, and I will be this next week because I just got this. It's not really about the position or the titles. You should be able to tell them about the impact. So I think one of my examples I gave in my leadership examples, I did not have a position when I made that impact. So it's about having impact, about creating change, not just about the position or title that you have. It's about the impact you've made. That's one thing. And also maybe some people just send in applications. Let's see that they're just applying. So just take your time to scrutinize your work. Make sure that you proofread your essays and you give someone else. It mustn't be a scholar. You could give your boss or whoever someone else should just read your work, because most times when you write your essays, you might not see some things that another person would see when the person reads your essay. Something else again I think is deadlines. Yes, Chevney is very, very critical about their deadlines. So if they tell you should submit this document at this point in time, please try to submit it. If you don't submit it, I think there are penalties for that. So try to meet up with the deadlines. Something else I think is not being able to tell your story clearly. So when you're writing your essays, try to use this style approach. You should be able to get the situation, the task, the action, and the results from your essays. It should be very clear. So you don't just start from, I went to Ikeja to buy this and I'm in my house sleeping and that is why I'm tall. No, there should be this connection. For instance, you're talking about health, the health sector. You can't give examples in the health sectors in this essay and come to your career plan and you're talking about being an astronaut or a police officer. There should be this connection, this relationship between what you do currently and what you intend to do in the future. So just try to, so they'll know that you have, your vision is clear, you're currently doing this and you're going this way. And this scholarship will come in this way to help you get to that place you're going to. So just try to be very clear in your application, in your essays and everything.
Why do you think people get selected?
I think people get selected because they are able to talk about the impact they have made as leaders. They are able to show how they have networking skills and how they've used that networking skills to solve problems within their community. They're able to talk about the schools they want to go to, clearly talk about the universities they want to go to and why they chose those universities. Probably talking about the university, maybe the ranking or the professors there or the way the community or the city is. And also, they're able to tie all these things to their future career plan. So you should have a career plan that will just link up to this. And also, in their career plan, they should be able to link what they want to do in the future to what the UK is currently doing in Nigeria. So there should be this guide of where you are, where you want to go to, and how that ties or that is in line with what the UK is currently doing in Nigeria. And also, please be real, don't lie. So if you lie about anything, I think there's a way they find out, maybe in your interview. Just try to be as authentic as possible. You don't need to lie that you've walked on water before. You don't need to make it to make it look big. Just be as genuine as you can. If you're genuine, they can see that genuinity in your interview. But if you start lying, there's a way to come back to you, and they'll just find out. So just try to be true to yourself. You must not be very big. Just talk about the little you've done. Let them just see the impact. Yeah, so that's what I think. Some of the things I think made some people get the scholarship. Oh, AFM stories. I really need to. I don't know where to start from, but I need to thank her for her station, because it's incredible. The kind of content she puts out here has helped lots of applicants. I knew AFM stories through my colleague. Yes, okay. Before then I used to watch. I thought I downloaded lots and lots of YouTube videos about Chevening application. So I had her whole playlist downloaded on my phone. So I watched her videos. I think I watched her videos even more than 2 times, some of them. So I had a book right beside me. As I'm watching the video, I write down some tips, because she gives very good tips in her essays and they're very clear. So I write them out, even tips for the interview preparation. I ensure I wrote down those tips. So coincidentally, a colleague also shared a link to me for one of her YouTube live like that. So that was when I met AFM Stories for the first time. She didn't even remember when she reached out to me that I was the one in the interview. I think I asked her a question then, if I could wear bright colors and if I could wear makeup for my interview. And she was like, that on her own time too, she wore makeup. She wore very good makeup for her interview. So I should just be myself and express myself the way I feel I can. So that my interview day, I just tried to be me, because if I'm trying to be someone else, I might not express myself properly. So AFM Story is doing a very, very good job. So if you're listening to me and you're applying for the Chevney scholarship, I would advise that you subscribe to this channel, because there are loads and loads of information about your Chevney application journey here that you will get. It helps me in my application, and I'm very sure to also help you in your application too. Thank you.